Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera show. You know, there's an old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. And certainly with a bowl of apples like this, I'm gonna be really healthy this year. So we are celebrating a cozy, cosmic, crisp Christmas. Now try to say that real fast. So I'm so excited. I have loved Cosmic Crisp apples for a long, long time. And these are produced in Washington State. But you know, I love to use Southern ingredients. And so why am I using an apple from Washington State? Because I have adopted it right here in Georgia, because I use it in my recipes so many, many times. So we're gonna do 3 great recipes today. We're gonna start with an apple arugula salad that has a maple pecan crumble. You are gonna absolutely love this salad. Really delicious, has a lot of beautiful colors in it as well. Then we're gonna do a Cornish hen that's stuffed with an apple-cranberry rice stuffing. Just the stuffing will be a recipe that you'll enjoy using many times throughout the year. And then finally, what about an old-fashioned cinnamon baked apple? Doesn't that sound just like Christmas? And we're gonna also show you some ways to use apples as part of your decor during the holidays. All right, so I'm really excited about this show today. So I'm gonna roll my sleeves up and let's get started on that apple arugula salad. All right, so we are getting ready to make an amazing salad, but the star of the show today is the Cosmic Crisp apple. And this apple is a cross between a Honeycrisp and an Enterprise variety. It is just the most delicious apple. And honestly, I've been using them now for about 4 years. I did it on a charcuterie board several seasons ago because I had just been introduced to that apple, and it's just turned into my favorite snack and something I cook with all the time. It's exceptionally juicy. It's beautifully bicolored. It doesn't turn brown, and they're super crisp. So it's just a great snack. It's a great fruit to use in salads and all the other things that we're gonna do with it today. So we're gonna start with the dressing for this salad. And if you like it when you make this, then I would recommend making it ×2 when you do it, because it lasts in the refrigerator for a while and it really is great on a salad. So I'm gonna add to my Fresh Market olive oil, which they use especially for marinades and dressings. Maple syrup, that's also Fresh Market brand. This is lemon juice. I've got Dijon mustard. And don't these ingredients just sound like the holidays? I've got freshly ground pepper, garlic that we mince ourselves. I love to do that. And then balsamic vinegar and a little bit of salt. So I'm just gonna whisk this together. And you could do this in a cruet and shake it if that's easier, but it just has a nice texture, very flavorful. All right, so now let's build this salad. And if you're not familiar with arugula, I love it. It's kind of got an oaky flavor. I love the texture of the green, but these apples have been sliced for a while, and look at them, they're gorgeous. They just hold their color. You can get things done ahead if you use these because you don't have to worry about the apples turning brown. But I'll put about that many. We can add some more after we dress the salad if we like. All right, the next ingredient is dates. And when you cut dates, of course, they get a little sticky. So my recommendation, since this is kind of a sweet salad, is to dust them a little bit with powdered sugar, and then they won't stick together as much. But this just adds another texture to this that I think is nice. All right, then red onions. So for this particular salad, you want to have a little bit of tartness to the onion because you've got some sweet ingredients here, and there's sweetness, of course, in the dressing. And again, I can add in extras when I get ready. And then this is another awesome ingredient. These are the maple pecan crumbles from Pearson Farm. It's like granola. I mean, honestly, I can just eat these as a snack. Love these. And then finally, feta cheese. So this is going to be dressed for our presentation. So we'll leave that to the end. And then we're gonna get started on those Cornish hens with a stuffing that you are gonna absolutely love. So come back with us in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. And if you're just joining me, and I'm going to try to say this without it being a tongue twister, we're doing a Cosmic Crisp Cozy Christmas. And I'm so excited. I absolutely love working with Cosmic Crisp apples. And we're doing 3 great recipes today. We started with an arugula salad that has the beautiful apples on the top and all kinds of great ingredients and a dressing. So we'll be showing that in presentation. So now we're starting on the Cornish hens, and they have the apples in the stuffing that goes inside of them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on the glaze before we get going with the Cornish hens, just so it can start reducing. So in my saucepan, I have apple cider. I'm going to add to that maple syrup, and this is the Fresh Markets brand, Dijon mustard, and cinnamon. So this really just, I mean, this whole show today just sings the holidays. And I like to use a whisk just so you can get all of the mustard incorporated into that. And I'm going to turn my heat up to about a medium high. So that's going to reduce in half, and that's what we're going to brush on the outside of the Cornish hens. Okay, so that looks pretty good. It can just be making an aroma fantastic in this kitchen. All right, so these Cornish hens are Tyson brand. The Fresh Market has them during the holidays. They don't even have giblets in them, so you don't even have to mess with getting them prepared that way. But I always recommend rinsing them off, patting them dry, and then I just took my salt and pepper meals and completely covered the outside, top and bottom, and the inside of the cavity with both salt and pepper. Because you know, you have to season poultry, even though there's a lot of flavor in the stuffing, you want to make sure your meat is seasoned well. So those are now ready to go. All right, so now let's talk about this amazing stuffing that's going to go in this. Obviously, this makes way more than you need for 2 Cornish hens, but the beauty of this is you've got some left over that you can either have the next night, or people will want to have just the rice stuffing to go on their plate. So I did a little bit in advance. We started with the butter in the pan. I sauteed the onions and celery for about 5 minutes just to get them translucent, nice and tender, and stirred that, you know, a few times while that was cooking. Then I added in my chopped pecans, and these are Pearson Farm pecans, fresh sage that I had cut up, fresh thyme done the same way, salt and pepper. And you cook that for about 3 minutes just to get it good and incorporated, all the vegetables, all the flavors. Then after that has happened, you're going to deglaze the pan with apple cider. And this just pulls anything that's on the bottom of the pan, gets it nice and combined. And then you're going to add in your Ben's wild rice that you've cooked according to package instructions. Add that in. The Cosmic Crisp apples, and needless to say, I cut these up in advance, and just look how beautiful they are. There's no brown on them. They just hold up so well, and chop them fine enough that they will go well into the cavity of the Cornish hen. Cranberries, fresh parsley, so all of that has been combined, and it just looks amazing. All right, so let me give this glaze a little bit of a whirl. And like I said, we're looking for that to get about 50% reduced. Okay, so I'm going to use about a half a cup of stuffing per hen. And these are just, you know, these are the hen that you forget about because they're so pretty. And you can cut them in half, you can spatchcock them, but the presentation on this is so attractive with this stuffing coming out of it. All right, so I've gone ahead and cut my kitchen twine, and I'm just going to tie the legs together. That will help hold the stuffing in. So go ahead and cut your piece, you know, large enough to go around it a couple of times and tie that up. And behind me, I've got my roasting pan that I put aluminum foil in the bottom, and then I sprayed it so that, you know, it would not be as hard to clean up. So I've got that one done. And let's get this one done real quick. So this, again, is just a beautiful presentation. You know, the stuffing. And somebody asked one time, well, if you cook the rice and then you cook the hens for like an hour, is the rice going to be overdone? And the answer is no. It's going to be just perfect because it's kind of protected inside the hen when you're cooking it. All right, so today I'm going to actually use the probe that goes with my M-Series oven, because you do want to make sure that your temperature on the inside of these hens is 165. So we're going to start with the oven on 425. We're going to cook them for 20 minutes. And then once that has occurred, you're going to lower the temperature to 375 and cook for an additional 40 to 50 minutes, or until you have that internal temperature of 165. So I've got my pan ready. I'm going to get these in, get them coated with butter, and then this glaze will be reduced, and I'll use that back in just a few minutes. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to get started on those baked apples, old-fashioned with cinnamon. Welcome back, everybody, and I don't know whether you've noticed or not, but I have new shades in the kitchen. I'm so excited about it. I love the woven look. Looks great with my cabinets and my countertops. So Somerville Shutters and Shades did this for me. I'm so excited about it. All right, so we had a little bit to do during the break with the Cornish hens. We got those onto the rack in my roasting pan. I brushed them with butter. I inserted my probe in the thickest part of the Cornish hen, which is basically the breast part. And in my M-Series oven, I just stick that probe right up at the top, and it's going to tell me exactly when it's to 165. So I love that feature. So we've got the oven on 425 for about 20 minutes. We're going to reduce it to 375 for the additional 40 to 50 minutes, depending on your oven and when you get to that internal temperature that you're looking for. But it smells amazing in here. All right, so these are the old-fashioned baked cinnamon apples. And I've got softened butter in my bowl. And I'm gonna add in brown sugar, cinnamon, of course, and you have to have a little bit of nutmeg with an apple. And then I've got oatmeal, and then raisins. All right, so one of the things that I love to talk about is that when you get a recipe that you like and you think about the ingredients that are in that recipe, what other recipe do you make that uses some of the same ingredients? And my first thought was an apple pie. And it's never occurred to me to put raisins in an apple pie. But I'm gonna try it the next time I make one. So let's talk about the apples, the Cosmic Crisp apples, and getting those ready to be baked. All right, so this apple core is great because you can make it wider when you're doing this. And because we're not going all the way through the apple, I also used a sharp paring knife. So what I did was I started with my core, I used the paring knife, but what you're looking for is about a 2-inch circle in the top so you can get plenty of this filling. And you want to use your knife to get the seeds out. But here again, the Cosmic Crisp apple is so juicy, it's so crisp, it's beautifully colored, and it doesn't turn brown. And so the ability to make some of this stuff in advance is really in place when you're using this apple. All right, so this should be just enough to fill the cavities of these 4 apples. So I'm using a deep dish pie pan as my vessel to cook these in. And one of the things that when you're doing something like this, I've got some warm water out of the tap over here. And right before I get ready to put these in the oven, I'm gonna pour that water in the bottom of the pan. That keeps the bottom of the apple from burning, and it also just adds some additional moisture to the apple as it's baking. You know, so when you think about a heavy meal, and this isn't necessarily that heavy, but a dessert like this is a welcome treat because it, you know, you could even put a scoop of ice cream with this if you wanted to. But it's gonna, the length of time that it bakes is just gonna be really tender when you go to eat it. All right, so I may have to just do this on this last little bit. All right. In presentation today, we're going to show you how to actually decorate with these apples. And again, it's just the continuation of the theme and making everything come together. And you know, many times during the holidays, you're not necessarily going to set a formal table. So we're going to do a beautiful buffet today, which we haven't done in a while. So come back with me. I'm going to get the water in the pan, get these in the oven, and we've got some great ideas for you coming up. See you back in just a minute. Welcome back, everybody, and oh my goodness, I've had the best time today. We have been looking forward to this show. You know, I almost feel like I've learned so much about this apple. As I said earlier, 4 years ago, I was introduced to this apple. I thought, oh, there's no way an apple doesn't turn brown. And honestly, we have done nothing with these apples today but cut them and cook with them and use them. And I'm just so excited to introduce any of you that have maybe seen the apple in the store that didn't really know that much about it, that now you've learned their personality, you've learned about how well they prepare and what they look like when you slice them. So let's go back through what we did today because we had some really amazing recipes. And our website is always has our recipes posted at VeryVera.com so you can pull them up and use them for any purpose. All right, so let's walk back through what we did today. We started with the arugula salad that has the maple pecan crumbles, has a wonderful balsamic dressing that goes with it. And as I said, I saved a few to put on the top, and just look at them. Look how beautiful they are. The red onions, the dates, the maple pecan crumbles, the feta cheese, it's just the best salad. And I've gone ahead and plated one, and just the dressing for you to see how beautifully it pours. It's got a little bit of a thickness to it. It's really just delicious. So I hope, as I said, that you'll do this in bulk when you make it because it'll last in the refrigerator. It's even great on a grilled chicken breast. I think you'll really enjoy it. All right, the next dish that we did was the Cornish hens. And look at them. They're just so proud, just laying in that rice stuffing. They're just beautiful. So one of the things that we did every 10 minutes during the baking process was I glazed them with that maple glaze that we let reduce by 50% on top of the stove. That gives it that real Christmas on the top, and again the 165 internal temperature. But just look how much of that stuffing you have to, you know, to present the dish or to have in a separate bowl to serve as a family style opportunity. So I really love that. And I want to point out the little place cards that are sitting next to each one. Again, those are the Cosmic Crisp apples that we just filled with greenery. Did the place cards to name what the different dishes are. All right, then the last dish that we did was the old-fashioned cinnamon baked apples. And that filling is just wonderful. I was kind of nibbling on it when we were getting things ready for the presentation. But it just looks real attractive. You can use either tongs or a spoon to lift that up. You could put vanilla ice cream with it, whipped cream. You could do some caramel sauce. But I've also plated that as well, cutting one of those in half with some of the maple pecan crumbles on it and some of the sliced apples. But again, anything else that you want to do to this to make it a wow factor dessert is certainly great. All right, so we've added in another dish that I certainly want to point out during the holidays. When you're having people over at the last minute, everybody loves a charcuterie board. So fruit, cheese, meats on that board, but there's nothing better with apples than cheese. And so I really love to use an apple on a charcuterie board. And again, you might have steered away from that because the apple will turn brown. And that's not going to happen with the Cosmic Crisp. The nice thing about the Cosmic Crisp apple too is that it is available all year long at the fresh market. Certainly, I want to send you to their website because even the ideas for some of the decor today came from their website. This apple tree, which will really last. You've got a cool spot in the house to keep that maybe out in the carport or the garage would be great. And then we also did a centerpiece with votive candles that make this whole apple-themed event so beautiful. So the holidays are right around the corner. I want to certainly suggest that you go to our website because we have some gift ideas. Our tea towels, we have one specifically for Christmas. Then we have the one that uses my saying that people are really enjoying. And then of course our cookbooks make a wonderful gift this time of year. So I want to thank the folks at Cosmic Crisp. And as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. We've got a lot of great taste today. I hope you'll come back and see us again next week.